Yes, guys, welcome back to the Once You're In podcast. We were supposed to have a very special guest today who trained with myself, Mr. Josh Croggan, but it appears he has other arrangements tonight, unfortunately. Arrangements we have no idea what they potentially could be. But you could maybe hazard a guess if you wanted to. As the listeners, you could comment below what's Josh Croggan getting up to this evening. Please feel free to put your comments below. So it's just myself and Reese. We've not done a questions box or anything, so I guess we're just having a catch up, mate, and we'll see where the podcast goes.
Okay. Well, I actually did put a question box up because I sensed that
Oh, I
Josh.
don't look at your stories.
Yeah. Cheers, mate. Thank you.
They infuriate me.
Yeah, that's fine, mate. I unfollowed you months ago, so I haven't seen
You know who
Imagine.
I did unfollow earlier? Literally like an hour ago. I want you to guess. I feel like you might get it.
Who did you unfollow? Um, I don't know,
We've
man.
spoken about them recently on the podcast.
Ooh, in a like, do we know them on a personal level or not really?
We've had experiences with them.
Oh God, with them. So it's two people,
No, no, this person.
mate. I have no idea.
Who have we spoken about recently on the podcast that we said their content's fucking shit? Actually I have unfollowed two people recently.
Okay. I don't even know. I always think that Slee Raw's content's fucking diabolical. Is it Slee Raw?
His content is diabolical.
Yeah.
Although I don't think I've unfollowed him. I might have done in the past, but in this last week, let me have a look. Slee Raw.
Mate, like I'm gonna be
I
honest.
do unfollow it. I have unfollowed him. You follow him.
I
Followed
still
by
follow
Reese Fit.
him. Mate, I can't unfollow him. It's
Go
like
on, give him
watching.
a live unfollow on the pod.
Okay, no, it's a lie. Mate. Oh,
Ah,
sorry.
come on.
It's so bad. Oh, okay, cool. Slee, I'm sorry, mate.
We
Here's
should
an
make
apply.
this a regular feature. Like
Yeah.
I decide one person you have to unfollow, and you decide one person I have to unfollow every week.
Okay, sure. This is a really good thing. Slee Raw. Oh, he's changed his profile picture.
Mm.
Okay.
Within a
Sound right,
touch.
guys. I'm so sorry. Slee Raw, unfollowed. Oh shit, I feel bad for people that don't know about Slee. Slee was a open bodybuilder
Do you
that
know his actual name?
Corey something, yeah,
Go.
yeah,
If you didn't know his name, then I'd have said, mate, you got to unfollow him anyway.
yeah, no. So yeah, for people that don't know, like this is nothing personal against Slee, and bet fair enough. I guarantee Slee knows his content is diabolical, but he's doing it for algorithms. He's getting loads of followers. I know he was coaching. Still think he does coach. I'm pretty sure. I think that's like one of his main incomes. I don't know if he does OnlyFans. I imagine by his content, he probably does. And if he doesn't, sorry, bro, don't want to put it out there. But he's like, I remember seeing a shift because he was an open bodybuilder like years ago. Do you remember when we were at Ultraflex Rotherham? He was like a big fucking dude.
Yeah, he's
And then,
big.
yeah, he was massive. Then he went into Classic. Because I think he had like some heart issues or health issues. I don't want to speak for him and I don't want to put words out there. So I don't want to piss you off if you hear this, mate. I actually think as a person, you seem like a sound dude. Like you used to always comment on my stuff positively. And then all of a sudden, probably about, I don't know, a year ago, it started to shift into like there's reels, guys, and you'd have to see it where like he's like he'll like come out and then he'll like accidentally spawn in like a speedo and he'll be like, oh, what am I wearing? So he'll like be like, hey guys, it's Slee today, and he's in like normal clothes, and then he'll be like, oh no, why am I wearing this? And it will switch into him wearing like a fucking like bikini man thong sort of thing, and then he'll like just randomly spawn back into normal clothes, and then like he's everything's just over the top facial.
I've seen the ones where he's like, come and run 5K with me or whatever, but it's like so in your face, and it's just like, I just don't
Yeah,
follow,
yeah,
I don't need
there's
to
reels,
follow
there's
that.
reels. I literally, there's reels where he's like, come run 5K with me, and beforehand, let me just put my cock right in your face. Oh no,
Yeah,
my face
basically. Yeah.
really, really tight, right in the camera.
Yeah.
Oh no, my ass. Oh no, you can like, I'm pulling my shorts up. It's like almost clickbait, not even clickbait
Yeah,
content.
mate, it's like what girls do who do OnlyFans, but he's a guy.
Yeah. But that being said, I kind of get like Slater's a great looking dude. He's got a great physique for the average person. He's not like a bodybuilder sort of physique anymore, but to the average person, like he's a tall, handsome, tanned, blonde man. Speaking of that, I might start following him back now.
I've just followed him back. I'm actually masturbating under the
Hey
table.
guys, I'm sorry. I lasted 4 minutes following Slee Raw. So yeah. Anyway,
Right, you got to guess the two. Right,
I,
one of them is on the level of Slee Raw's content.
oh fuck knows, bro. Um, I don't even know. You said us. I'm not sure, man.
We spoke about him last week in the podcast.
I don't remember what I said yesterday, bro. I don't know what. Come on, give me a clue. Give me a clue
Stephen,
that's like,
Stephen Chalk.
oh, I never followed him.
You must have done in the past.
No, no, I never, mate. I never.
So Stephen Physique, he's gone.
Who? So was it just Steven? It wasn't anyone else.
No, somebody else the other day. It was he posted he posted a reel and it was like if you're training for longer than 50 minutes, then you don't know how to train. I just thought, mate, shut the fuck up. I unfollowed him. Joe Brightman.
Oh, yeah, mate. Perfect. Yeah, awful content.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so sad, isn't it? Like,
Mate,
Joe,
even Joe, even what's his name? Bridgman. Like
yeah,
posted like a motivational thing the other day. I just think, what is going on? Like these
yeah,
people, like, no disrespect, but like I used to think, fucking hell, like Bridgman and Brightman, they were like the people that we looked up to when we were getting into it. And
mm.
like now I just like look at their stuff and I'm like, what's going on?
Mate, TM Cycles again. I haven't unfollowed him, but
I
I
actually respect TM Cycles because I feel like his content is very much
yeah,
him. You
yeah,
know
yeah.
what I
I
mean?
agree.
Like I
I
actually
agree.
think his stuff's great and he's come away from
Yeah.
bodybuilder. Sick.
Yeah, no, no, no. I agree. It was just him going for a run, and it was like he said, "I was having a bad day. I didn't want to get up and do my stuff." And then I found out some family members made it to the Olympics. So I thought, yeah, let me go and crack on. And I was like, okay, like that's different content, fair enough. Like that's very personal to him. It's just not widespread. But yeah, Joe Brightman, like again, as you said, like we came into the game and like funnily enough, I can't remember who I said it to like recently, and I said Joe Brightman, and they were like, "Who's that?" And I'm like, "How do you not know Joe Brightman?" That was like who we grew up following. And then I know, have you seen now? He's got like a normal job. Like, so he went from I know he went from like doing what he's doing, obviously bodybuilding wise, and stopped bodybuilding, then go bodybuilding again, then coaching, then he did that app thing. You know, did he message you about this app?
Yeah. Yeah. But mate, like no disrespect to anybody. Like ultimately, if you have a kid and you are wanting to support your family, fucking do
Yeah.
whatever. Like I couldn't give a like I couldn't care less. But like I just thought like this isn't the content that I really want to follow.
Yeah, I think people take like it unfollows, and like also as well, like what we're saying here, like this isn't anything personal. Like I got nothing bad to say about Joe other than it's mental to see somebody go from like IFBB pro coaching good dudes, putting stuff out there constantly, and then now it's like very anti-fitness or anti-bodybuilding and stuff, and it's just like
But
it
it's just
really is.
actually we were chatting about this. Me and Megan went out for breakfast with her mum and her mum's partner who they came and stayed the night. We went
Mm,
out for breakfast and her mum was saying to Meg, she was like, "Oh, you should like make a make something for like, you know, middle-aged women." And like me and Megan were like, her niche is female natural bodybuilding. That is her
mm,
niche. It wouldn't make sense if she started to try and target 40 to 50-year-old women. Like,
yeah,
yeah, there's a huge market of women who don't know what they're doing or they're not confident enough to train or whatever, but that's not where she's at in her life, so it wouldn't make sense. You know what I mean? Like, and obviously Meg's mum like understood that, but like, yeah, it's a huge market,
yeah,
but it wouldn't make sense for Meg to go and do that. Like, whereas, like you say, like with like someone like Brighton, for example, if you've had a kid and then you're working a job to support the kid, your coaching content would be related to that. You know
yeah,
what
yeah.
I
No,
mean?
I
Same
agree,
with,
yeah.
like you, like all your content now, realistically, is about gear. Like all your reels. Yeah, and maybe not all your content, but you know what I mean? Like all your informative reels,
Yeah,
or most of them, maybe not all. You know what I mean? So like you could see why like loads of natties might just unfollow you.
yeah.
But
No,
you're
no, yeah.
not because you're probably coaching a greater percentage of people now, or maybe who aren't natty. You know what I mean?
Mm, yeah.
It's like me randomly starting to like, not randomly because yours is like a natural progression going enhanced. But you know what I mean? Like, it'd be like if I completely switched out, like I'd understand if people unfollowed me. So that's what I'm
Yeah.
getting is like I'm not being a dick unfollowing him.
No, no.
It's just
The
I
only
don't.
thing, the only thing I'd say for like for that for me, for example, like out of my own like position is it's more so down to what firstly I think people speak about, and secondly the fact that I don't think like if I was to put a question box up, most of them are about that. It's like that's like, oh, Reese speaks about it. Reese is knowledgeable on the topics. Let me go for that. It's not really been where like that's not the sort of content that I'm like, yeah, I can't wait to speak about MOTS or 5-amino 1MQ. But like literally, I put a question box up. Your client or old client. Do you still coach Drew? I don't think so. Do you, Drew Hope? Yeah. Thoughts on five amino 1MQ in the deficit? And I was like, oh, damn. So it's like so that's usually you just go for what things are. It's like not like I don't think you have a kid and immediately like the first question, hey bro, I'm a dad too. How do I get jacked?
No,
Hey,
it's not, but it would 100% you open up that avenue. Like, for
yeah,
example, you and Sanaya had a kid in the next couple of years.
yeah,
You will resonate so much more with dads.
yeah,
So a lot of people who are maybe young dads might come to you and be like, "Oh, mate, I've seen that you've dealt with it. How did you?" And you might still be competing and stuff. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
like that does make sense.
No, but I don't think the demand is like the exact same as like it's not really a natural progression. It'd be like I go from, hey guys, these are my 5 favorite peptides, to then going, are you a jack dad trying to improve your physique like me while holding my like 1 month old baby? This is what you need to do. And just do every reel holding my baby just like this. It's like this is my son.
Right, yeah, right.
It's legit. Question for you. Now that we're on top of topic of content. Now we could get. I say we could get in trouble. We've spoken about these pair before, and I actually want your opinion. Wiki. You know she's doing her prep. Have you seen? And to be fair, I think there's two sides of this. And I actually thought I don't really see too much of her content, but she's prepping, and I know she tried to prep a few years back or whatever. And I know obviously again people have different elements of like self doubt and stuff, but I've seen a fair few things. Like, I remember seeing her like a few weeks into prep being like a photo of her, and she was like, "I don't know if I'm going to get on stage," or "I had my first moment of self doubt. I'd have to get the post up," or something like that. Like, do you think nowadays with let's say how it's so like as you said, you put yourself out there? Do you think as like a first timer sometimes it's better to bullshit it, or do you think like being honest and truthful with your thoughts is important? Because if I had a client and they'd tried to compete before, and then they had like self doubt and they spoke about how hard it is, and they've not even got to the tough start part of it, I'd be like, you kind of have to like bullshit it and be like, I can do this. Not saying she has to lie, but more so a case of like, have you seen some of these posts?
Yeah, I saw the post you're on about,
Yeah, yeah,
but I didn't really think anything of it. Like, I think it's different as a female, to be honest. I think
I
like
reckon.
yeah, and I think that would resonate a lot with females, and her clients will probably be like, oh, like I feel like that, and like you know what I mean. It is nice probably for her clients to see that she's human,
Yeah,
and she doesn't just think she's gonna fucking win everything. Like, so I get it. I probably wouldn't post that just because again, that's not really my kind of content. But as a girl, I completely get that. Like, and she probably has chats with her clients because I know she coaches quite a lot of girls. She
mm,
probably has quite a lot of chats with her clients about that kind of thing, about self-doubt and confidence and stuff.
yeah,
I guess like again, exactly what we were just saying, it resonates with your clients. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I'll post a lot about like maybe not like necessarily self-doubt, but maybe like whether it be within natural bodybuilding or whatever it like, it might be like actually fucking backing yourself a little bit more or like being a bit more positive towards your physique, even though you know you might not fucking think you're the dog's bollocks, you might not think I'm fucking huge because you're a natural bodybuilder, you're not going to
mm,
be, but you can still be like proud of like what progress you've made. Realistically, as a natural, you know you're never going to be the biggest guy in the gym or the biggest guy in the fucking room all the time. Like that's not the goal. If it is the goal, don't be nice.
yeah,
Like so, like I could make a reel on that and enhanced guys would be like, what the fuck's he talking about? You know what I mean?
yeah,
But a lot of natty guys would go, yeah, that makes sense.
yeah. No, I get that. Yeah, it wasn't anything personal about Wiki. It was more so a case of like, as a like legitimate first timer, I think like you are gonna have like everybody, no matter like I don't really know like I've never known anybody, no matter what, at the start of a prep to be like, yeah, man, I'm good enough. Like 99 times out of 100, even when I was like over 100 kilos in men's physique, I was like, am I big enough?
Yeah,
Do I need to be bigger?
compete here, but she is. She's mate. She's good. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
She'll.
that's what I mean by that. Like, she needs to, like, in my opinion, and again, this is completely my opinion. She does not need to take it in any way other than just what it is at face value. Is like you just need to almost embrace the fact that like you are going to have self doubt, but like in my opinion, sometimes speaking about it, putting it out there is actually not worse for you. But I think you start to then overthink, and then you'll have like a moment where you feel really good, and like I just think literally trying to switch your brain off and just thinking, right, how do I get through today,
The
and
more
go
you
from there.
tell something, the more it becomes present in your mind and becomes true. Like
Yeah,
it's the same as like not getting too high or getting too low. Like,
Yeah,
you might have a session where it's fucking amazing. You look at yourself post workout, you think, "Oh my God, like I look fucking mint. I'm really happy with like how I look today." And then you have a fasted check-in where you're a bit flat and maybe you've just been ill and you've had a couple of days off training. You look fucking awful.
so,
Like, what are you gonna do? Cry all day? And like, no, I'm not saying that's what she would do or like, you know what I mean? I'm just getting like that point of like it's easy to get too high or get too low based on like that immediate reaction.
yeah, no, I get that. I get that. No, it's good that we share that kind of similar thoughts. And again, nothing personal to Wiki.
I think it should be good. It's good.
Yeah, I think she would. Yeah, I think she'll do really well. Away from that, let's actually get back to what we speak about. Any content that you disagree with recently? This is the. There used to be a guy called iDubbbz on YouTube, and he used to do I think called Content Cop, and he would like do like 40-minute breakdown videos of people's content, and like it was like super harsh. I think they all got deleted because like it wouldn't be acceptable in today's like game. Like it's like not even borderline bullying. It's really, really bad. So I feel like we need to become content cops in the fitness industry.
Hey, you're the one. You get videos made about you.
Yeah, I got a video made about me today by Brian Mackins calling me out.
You're the
Did
one.
you see that? No, it was based off just funnily enough, I haven't actually watched it. I listened to the first 10 seconds and I was like, right, I actually need to do my work. I'll watch this later. He wasn't really disagreeing with me. It was more so on the Masteron versus like I said I prefer Mass than Primo because Tom asked me. And then he used I clicked off the second he went, see, this is the problem when you speak in absolutes. And I was like, yeah, but it's absolutes relative to me. Like it's like someone asking me a question. It's not like I've gone, I prefer this is better. So the second I saw that, I was like, I'll watch it when I get a minute. But yeah, no, I've yeah in the last week that and then that guy making a reel about me spamming people with growth hormone. Yeah, yeah,
It is
yeah.
just like obviously I don't have enough knowledge behind PEDs, so I'm not going to be like, oh, I disagree with this. I can give a fuck. But like I can see why people would make content from it because it's like it's clickbait, it's easy to disagree with. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
that's what content is a lot now, is just put it on a green screen with the head and talking over someone else's reel saying, I don't agree with that, and that
Yeah,
gets clicks.
yeah. No, I agree. So like, I don't know if you spoke about this, but the thing in like mentioned. So I got sent it. I didn't actually comment. I never even messaged him because I was like, you're allowed to use my content whenever it wants. So like, it's a kid called like Fraz Physiques or something. Fraz something Physiques. Oh, Finn's taking a photo. No. And yeah, it's a kid called like Fraz Physiques or something. And I don't follow him. I've never really seen his stuff, other than maybe one or two posts that were sent to me like last year. And he basically disagreed with the fact that I start off the reel and I say, if you've been using 3 to 4 IUG, you've been throwing money away, which immediately that is like very much like
That's
if you've been
the point.
doing,
It's a
yeah,
whole, it's
that's
a
what I
whole
mean. You've been doing 4 IUs to GH your whole life. You're like, oh my God, this guy's called me out. This guy's like literally just said nothing but bad. I hate this guy. He's called me out. So
thing.
immediately at the back. I hate Reese. I hate this guy. I don't even know. I hate this dude. And then also people hear, let's say, dosages of like 10 plus IU or whatever, which to be fair is a lot. But like I think people don't understand like again roles of how like IGF works. And funnily enough, like you'll have guys that will do like because he clicked a bit where it was like I mentioned people doing 2, 3, 4 grams of gear. And like again, no disrespect to him, but like he is I imagine I think a junior who is probably on stage. I don't know at like £200. And I'm talking to like if you're wanting to be a fucking big super heavyweight open bodybuilder, where like unfortunately 2 to 3 to 4 grams a year like is probably a minimum. I remember hearing about people who spoke about on the podcast.
Like, you
Hmm?
people talking about that.
Yeah, no. You don't hear, yeah, no one really comes out about it. But I know people that we've just spoken about that were doing 3 to 4 grams a year minimum and having health implications, which is silly. And I'm literally saying use less of that because it's going to be more and more negative. Use more growth hormone and look at the IGF sort of expression or the IGF potential that occurs from high doses of growth hormone. But people hear high dose growth hormone, oh my God, it's bad. But then they're not in a position where they've actually gone through the same sort of process in regards to their physique development. And they're thinking, this is not good for me. And it's like, well, it's not made for somebody who's 22, who's at 200 pounds on stage, you know. But I can't, it's a 60-second reel or a 90-second reel. I can't go, okay, guys, just so you know, this is for everybody who wants to be a super heavyweight bodybuilder. If you're classic, if you're junior, don't listen to this because I wasn't doing 10 IUs of GH until like the last probably 6 months. And also, it's fucking expensive. Like, it'll probably insult some people on their own finances because 10 IUs of GH is like 15 to 16 quid a day. You know, like, you're spending like if you said to somebody, hey bro, go and spend 300 to 400 quid a month on growth hormone, like most people can't afford that. And I completely get it. That's expensive. So immediately it limits the entry and requirements that people can get with. So as a result, people can get their back up. So yeah, people are allowed to make content, whatever. I just think when it's a bit more like personally, like towards, let's say, somebody, like, so like I've insulted someone's fucking family, but people are like, fuck this Reese guy, I hate how he speaks. But it's like, just put my opinion out there, guys. You don't need to agree.
Like as well, like because of the way not just you, but how content is nowadays, it's very
Mm.
you don't grab someone's attention in those first few seconds, they're scrolling past. So if you don't have something that is maybe a little bit controversial in that first couple of seconds, or even just something that's like 3 tips for this, and then people are going to wait for the tips, like you're not going to catch someone's attention, unfortunately. And like at
No.
the end of the day, especially from a content standpoint, for us, like what's the reason that we do content is because we
Mm.
coach. And we coach because it fucking pays our living. Like it pays our bills, it pays our mortgage or rent. Like it's literally our livelihood. It's our job.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like ultimately, we're gonna try and promote our coaching with not being fucking like I feel like our content is still very true to us. You know what I mean?
100.
We're not
Yeah.
we're not like completely different people in front of a camera, but you might have to be a little bit controversial or clickbaity, like my fucking YouTube thumbnails, mate. I just put in on Chat GPT, make a cool thumbnail. I pay you the extra 20 quid a month for this, like the next level of Chat GPT. Makes these
Yeah.
crazy thumbnails, and I'm just like, that's funny. I'm just gonna post it.
Yeah.
I'm not like, oh, I don't know, will someone think that that's a bit too much? Or I couldn't really care, mate. I'm like, I'm posting to YouTube. If
Yeah.
people YouTube, they will. If they don't, they don't. Sound.
No, I get that. I think like that's the difference. Like let's say for example, whenever I've never made Sam cut anything out. When I get Hubert to edit for me, I've never said to him, "Don't put this in." I try to put it as it is. And like the thing is, again, this isn't anything personal, but I will go back to what the kid mentioned. So the one reel I've seen from this guy was after he finished prep, and he basically did like a 15 to 20 calorie binge in like one day. And like that's the sort of stuff that like people don't respond to because nobody really cares in the sense of okay, this is post show, but like if it's going to go down like the personal level of like this guy or whatever, it's like you also then like you got to look at yourself. And like if I was, let's say, promoting, if it was me and I was saying this guy's not saying this is not good for us, should be promoting high drug use, but then you're promoting going out and eating 20,000 calories, which could put you in hospital and driving up blood pressure massively, especially as an assisted athlete. That's probably worse for you because kids will start to go, okay, if I compete, can I do 20,000 calories? Can I go to Five Guys, then McDonald's, then back to Five Guys, then a pizza, then a Domino's? It's like,
And that's why people, not obviously not everybody, like, but that is why some people compete is so they can do that afterwards and
yeah,
themselves for TikTok or whatever.
yeah. But I don't think, in my opinion, that's like when it's actually a little bit more like, as much as I don't think content should be like, let's say, yes and no or white and black or whatever, like I think there's certain points where it's like that's the content that I think we need to really like stay away from because I just don't think that's conclusive towards bodybuilding. Like that's the sort of stuff that like you joke to your mates and go, oh mate, I made myself throw up because I went and ate 20,000 calories, or hey bro, I was 17 pounds up in 2 days.
Not that you want.
That's yeah, especially when you're a coach.
I'm
Like
gonna say, yeah, I don't know the guy.
yeah. So
Right.
yeah.
Oh, the buzz slating content. Um,
Yeah.
what's been on the cards for you this week, mate? What you been doing?
Honestly, mate, not a lot, I feel like. Same as usual, really. Got like a week left before I start either A, prep or B, dieting. Which is gonna be a diet. See how things.
I'm on B dieting.
Hmm?
I'm doing B dieting.
Okay, that sounds really like force. If you're saying you're doing B dieting and stuff like that, like very forceful. No one asked you, mate. You sure?
Yeah, I'm just doing B.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. So yeah, I'll start pulling back next week, which is cool. Solidify 300 pounds lean from the front, 300 pounds lean from no, obese from the back, which is really good.
Front, mate.
Huh?
I say the B's from the front.
I've got abs, so 300 abs. Then I'll change it. Yeah,
Yeah.
300 abs. Yeah, 300 abs. So that's good. Yeah, so that's how things are currently sitting. Training's really good. Train with Sam George, Jim, not Sam George Media. I tagged his Sam George media account before, and he went, "Bro, what the fuck?" Like he was like, "I don't know what to do now. You tagged the wrong account." And I was like, "Mate, please bring pre-workouts. Don't bring DSLR cameras. Like you don't need to like it's Sam George Jim that I want to train with, not Sam George Media." Like he's got two outfits. He's either got full Gymshark or he comes in like Cole Buxton. There's no between. It's like depending on who he spawns in as of the day, which is funny.
Thanks And tone.
Hmm?
That flex and tone.
Yeah, you ever been?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, really cool. I was definitely saying the gym is the scattiest gym I've ever seen when it comes to kit placement. Like not in a bad way. Like the gym's sick. It's just like there's a corner of the gym.
It's
Hmm?
not. I thought that, but it is planned out. But yeah, I thought that when I first
Yeah,
went, I thought, what the fuck? Everything's everywhere, but like it's
yeah.
not. You actually like walk around and you go, all right, the back kit's here, the leg kit, the push kit. Yeah,
Yeah, no, definitely. But yeah, the gym was really cool. Really liked it. It felt like a gym, which I don't really feel like that. You don't really get that sort of like this is a gym sort of feeling, especially like when you train out of our gym. You know, when you go to some gyms, I feel like some gyms just feel very commercialized in comparison. So like it was nice to go into a gym and be like, okay, cool, they're playing bodybuilding sort of music. The vibe is quite cool. The people that train here want to train. You know, like when I was like in
that
Italy.
like a cool gym in it. Like
Yeah, like when you've gone from like training in a gym that's like again, like I think the one thing that we have nailed is like the vibe, the atmosphere, the music, the lighting, and the kit. And when you go from that to then training in a, do you hear the bang? Yeah, I saw your face. Look at this. But when you go from that to then training in like the more commercialized gyms, it's almost like, oh, this is a bit weird. Like you go in and you hear like Katy Perry on the fucking radio or whatever, you know, and it's like not a decent soundtrack, and you're like, oh, that's strange. And then there's like no posing room or the lighting's a bit naff. Like when I was in Spain, that's like every gym I was just like, this is just so flat in comparison. Like this is just not the sort of vibe that you enjoy. So yeah.
I was being used to training at ours as well, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like where you can just control the music and stuff.
Yeah, no, definitely. But yeah, away from that, everything's been good. Excited not to be this weight as much as again, like considering like I joke, I am actually very happy with how I look like composition wise. Like I look really good for this body weight. It's more so a case of like how I feel is just not great. Sound like Tim, you know, when Tim was like, oh, 240, can't go over 240. I was like, blow back pumps. I remember that from like 2021 or 2022. But yeah, my body just feels like it's falling apart at this point. But I can string it together, but like it's weird to think like if you said to me right now, I prep today or I have to do this for another 5 months, I'd be like, oh, I prepped today, 100%. Like I've definitely got to that point.
On quite a bit of weight quite quickly, though, haven't you? Like it's
Yeah, definitely.
push up, so like you're bound to feel like that.
Yeah, but I say that it's more so just again like the training demands. I think if I was to like when I'm not training, if I was to have a week off, I'd be like, I don't actually feel that bad because I don't feel heavy in the sense of like cardiovascular. I've kept cardio in. I'm not out of breath. It's more so like just the little things. Like I'll stand up and I'm like, fucking hell, my knees. Or like I'll lie down like watching TV with Sanaya at like 9 o'clock, and then I'll get to go into bed and I'm like, I literally can't sit up. Like it's weird because I feel like I've got lines on my quads, I've got fucking veins on my arms, I've still got my midsection intact. Like I look at myself and I'm like, yes, it's cool, but it's just like you just don't feel good like away from that. And I definitely think I've got to the point now where like you get people that go, you know, like the whole like open bodybuilding, oh, the off season's harder than the prep. And I'm like, no, I actually fully get that now. Like
Yeah.
even in between shows, I was probably feeling better, other than just like the lack of energy. Like, but the that like it's compared lack of energy versus like lethargy is very different. And then when you are like as big as and heavy as I am, like the training demands obviously pretty fucking great. So like you just feel cooked constantly. So yeah, like it's a weird one because again, like it's all relative. Like, but I didn't think it would be like as much harder. Like the difference between like my off season before and this one, I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is like amplified massively. And I've been similar weight. Like I was similar weight in 2024,
Do you think
but
that
I think it's
a
just
lot of that is down to the rate of gain, though?
yeah.
Like obviously being at the weight that you are, but if you'd have got up to the weight that you are now over 9 months instead of
Yeah.
3 months, then
It's no, if you mate, it's 4 months, and also as well, it's only 20% of my body weight. If you think about, let's say,
that's quite a lot.
mate, you went from let's say 160 to 192. That's going to take you 4 or 5 months. Do you know what I mean?
I think it took me a while because I was fucked.
Okay, fair enough.
No, but
Yeah,
I mean, like, if you, regardless of the percentage, if you'd have done it twice as long,
yeah,
wouldn't feel as you feel now. You,
true. Yeah, I agree. I
you
agree.
adapt slow because you're doing it slower, you adapt more to it.
Yeah, no, no, no. I would agree with that. So yeah, but then also like again, it's all relative. Like this is my first year where I was ever competing like back to back years. So it was like instead of the whole classic, I'm going to stay lean. It was like okay, I was doing 1,000 carb. I've done 1,000 carb on a training day every day since before I finished prep. So it was like it wasn't okay. I want to stay lean. It's like no, I actually need to grow because if I'm going to compete next year, I need to make the most of every moment that I can. And so far, in like the 4 months it's been, I think I've made like I feel like I made more progress than what I would have thought in 4 months is possible. And I always seem to respond better when I diet anyway. So basically, the plan is literally just to compare visuals on the way down, see how I look, get down to like 275. And if like I look better at 275, then I do it 265, I'll keep going. If I don't, I'll come back up. The only annoying thing is the Two Bros calendar is fucking appalling. Have you seen it?
No.
I mean, it's so bad. So there's okay, so this makes no sense. There's a qualifying show in March, then there's a pro qualifier 2 weeks later. Then there's a qualifying show in April 17th, which annoyingly is the same weekend as the FIBO, which if I am going to do shows, it probably will be that as the first show, which would be annoying because I'd like to go to FIBO, but then also there's plenty of times I can't go to FIBO. Just have to go next year or whatever. Hopefully Tevye will keep me. Be like, please guys, I'm going to use my ticket next year. Can I have the tickets for next year instead? And then there's no regional shows until June. So there's none in May. So there's April 17th and then May. And no, sorry, no, none in May. They literally have to go to June. June 6th is the next regional show. In between that April 17th, there's the GASP Sweden Pro Qualifier, there's the Muscle Fest Ireland, there's the Amateur Olympia in Spain that you literally have to do either April 16th and then compete back end of May. So you have to wait 5 weeks, which makes no sense. And then there's regional shows June, July, but there's no good pro qualifiers, and that's obviously midway through the year. And then this is when it gets just fucking stupid. The last qualifying show, sorry, the last regional is in September 26th. So it's like and that's when all my clients are going to be on stage. But there's 3 regionals in September. Why? Like, so there's like first week, second week, third or fourth week. Why are there 3 regionals but none in October? So if I was to do late, so in an ideal world, I do probably November, December abroad when all my clients are basically like towards the end. There might be a few keep going, but most of them will be done. And I can go to in November and December and have those as months. But that means I then have to compete in September. That makes no fucking sense, you know. So it's like, what do you think to that? It's just fucking stupid.
It's not that far apart, I guess. Like what,
Yeah,
5 weeks? Not ideal,
yeah.
but and also like, do you have to be 100% or is it just ticking a box that you've done a show?
No. It's completely ticking the box. Like I could literally
You
for
could be
the
a bit soft.
yeah for the March show, I could literally like turn up off season,
Yeah.
£300 lean, just not turn around for the bag. Just be like, well, guys, why haven't I won the show? I'm £300 lean. And they're like, I know you're actually £300 obese. I'm like, nah. From the back, I am. From the front, I'm lean. All right, come on, guys, like, mark me up. But yeah, as long as you step on stage, you have a photo of you on stage. They literally don't care. But then, like, it's my first time in open bodybuilding competing with Two Bros, and as well, like, I'd also like to say that in the UK, I probably will be in the next couple of years. I'd like to say I'll be one of the better UK like pros in open. And I feel like with how Two Bros can be at times, if I was to step on stage like very much out of shape, they probably wouldn't like that. So I'd want to actually have a physique where I'm like, okay, I'm not driving up to Scotland or I'm not going to this show to basically just
Not
get
going to be massively
nice.
out of shape, you know what I mean? You'll be lean.
Yeah, true. So yeah, we'll see. So in my head, like what I'm thinking is if things respond well, do that April show, do 1 to 3 pro qualifiers, PCA University at Aligns, which is literally 4 weeks after, which would be cool. Collect some cash hopefully. And then if I was to win a pro card, sick. If not, I'll just do November, December, which is always the plan. But once I've qualified, I'll just do exactly what I've done. Unless like this hasn't worked. And like, let's say the last 4 months, it's just a lot of water and a lot of like almost super compensated glycogen where I'm like, oh, I'm not that much bigger. But like the plan is let's say maybe get on stage early, see how things look, then basically do another few shows, see how I stack up. If I was to win a pro card, sick. If not, rebound for 3 to 4 months, then prep for 2 to 3. And that's basically how it is.
Training massively better than it was before, like last prep.
It's weird from a strength standpoint, probably not, but from like a connection standpoint and how like accurate I feel like my sessions are, yes. So I definitely think like I'm at the point now where like I'm not really going to have the same linear progression, you know, like more weight, more reps. Like I'm not just going to be doing 6 plates on a Smith. And I think as well, I'm definitely limited at times just based off how my body feels a lot more than it probably was when I was younger. Because again, like when you've been pressing 4.5 to ish 5 plates on a Smith every single week for 4 years, your joints and your body's probably gonna be pretty beaten up. But like I'd say if I was to go off like my pumps, how I feel, how I look at certain body weights and how things are, like 100% I'd say I've made like a good amount of progress. You just don't know like how much of that's gonna stick, you know? So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, there's no like worst case, like you said, if you just end up dieting for a couple of months and then you gotta
Yeah.
just go back up.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's no like I think again like when you've stepped on stage like it was the same as last year. Like when I tell myself I'm going to get on stage, it's more so that I know that I'm going to be 100% dialed in, and I'm just going to treat it as is. And then if I don't like how I look, I don't need to get on stage. And when I mean like how I look, like I like my look last year, I was really fucking happy with, but I'm not going to step on stage if I just look that with like 2% extra progression. Like I want it where again, it's not going to be the same progress from 23 to 25, but like if let's say I get down to 275 and I'm like, fuck, I'm going to be on stage at like 265 here, where last time I was on stage at 250, I'm like, fuck yeah, let's keep going. But if I get down to like high 260s and I'm like, oh, I've still got 15 pounds to take off, I'm like, okay, cool, let's just not do this, let's just rebound out. And then I will do a September show probably at 75-80%, probably embrace that fact I'll probably get like a third or a fourth, and then do late in the year and just go from there, and then do like PCA finals and main goal. Because like in a weird way, I do want to do a PCA pro show. I think that'd be cool, and then have like a few pro qualifiers lined up. And kind of just this last year, like I think when you go into open bodybuilding, like there's a different standard. You're against big dudes. Like PCA is not judged the same as fucking NPC. Like my shape, my flow, my structure, sick. My actual size as an open bodybuilder, I'm not big enough in my opinion to just turn up and win a pro card. I could bullshit one, but like it's open bodybuilding. Like I need to be 255, 260 on stage minimum, which would be 5 to 10 pounds as an absolute minimum in the right areas. Which, if you would say to me, do I think I've made those improvements already? Maybe, but again, it depends on how things go in the prep and how things look. Last year, everything aligned perfectly. It was like I'd make a change, and I've never seen my body be so responsive. I was like, "Fucking hell!" I'm stunned how easy this is. So it might be a harder prep. That might result in maybe not a worse look, but it might not be the same improvement. So we'll see. It might also be better because I've had uninjured leg training. I've been in a really good spot. When I started prep last year, I didn't look that good. Like, and I mean that. Like, I genuinely did not look that good. Where like now, if you would say to me, go through a round of posing, I'm like, fuck yeah, I actually look like an open bodybuilder. But before I didn't. I just looked like a men's physique kid with decent shoulders, decent sit shape, and no legs. And my legs managed to grow back in prep. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, your legs are the main thing in it. Like significantly better than when you started prep last time.
Yeah, exactly. And my legs were right on stage. Feedback for both shows, quad strength, and I'm like, really?
Yeah, you could still see it, but it wasn't massively noticeable, like if you weren't looking for it.
Yeah, I spoke. I think I never said this. I asked Ryan, PCA head dude. I was like, could you tell about my left leg? And he was like, no. And I was like, oh, that's weird. I was like, because I could literally every whenever someone would take a photo of me, I'd look at my left leg and be like,
Yeah,
fuck's
that's because you know it's all you look
sake.
at. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think the one good thing was at least I was lean enough to the point where like we had detail, it just didn't have the same sort of like pop. And also as well, like my quad's in good shape. It was just objectively smaller. But when you look at the silhouette, I don't think you really are again, you're not picking and to criticize and going, that's a little bit. You just look at silhouettes and go, yeah, he looks cool, he looks shit, you
I,
know?
I say it to my clients all the time. Like, though Sonny's bad for it, Sonny
Yeah.
BLZ. He's fucking very good, mate. You know what I mean? He's a really good bodybuilder. But like he'd be like, oh mate, I'm just so imbalanced. I don't like how this looks. This looks wonky. And I'm like, mate, like this is you just picking yourself apart. Like to the judges and to anybody else, like they're just looking at the whole physique and the whole pose, and you look really good. You
Yeah.
might slightly bigger right delt, or especially like, if you've got, let's say, a really tight pec or whatever and it pulls it forward, like, yeah, fair enough. But like those are things you can work on throughout prep, posing and stuff. But even like with me, like I definitely have an imbalance between my right side and my left side, like both in terms of my back, like my
Yeah.
left side is weaker, my front, my left side is stronger. But like realistically, the judges aren't going to really notice that. It's not big enough of a difference to make a massive difference. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh my God, what the fuck is that? It's just like, it's probably a little bit weaker. But they're not really trying to like, they're not sitting and looking
Ah,
10 minutes going, I think his left lat's a bit smaller. You know what I mean? They're
yeah.
looking at 20 or however many.
They're doing that at the Olympia because the guys are so fucking flawless, pretty much, that they're probably, and even then, they're probably not to that extreme, but they are probably going to be looking and going, how's the lines in his glutes? Okay, he's got more lines. Okay, like that's because they go through multiple rounds and they're on stage for a good amount of time as pre-judging and finals. Me and when I trained with Tom, he like Sam made a reel out of it. It's that part of the session. It's a really good reel, to be fair, and it's like if you were to get, let's say everyone in the gym today, randomly, if we just said, right, strip off, boys, trousers down, chaps, trousers down, people, and we got them lined up like against, let's say, the wall with the trophies, and imagine there's no machines there. We would stand, I don't know, on the mezzanine. If they were all in stage condition, we would be able to pick the top three without even really doing much. We just go him in the middle, cool, done. You know, and in essence, judging is very much like that, where like I've legitimately seen judges make a fucking call and write a number down the second somebody walks out. The second somebody walks out.
That happened with, with Ed
Mm,
against Nick Arnold, and
yeah.
Arnold in the front relaxed is ridiculous. Like literally, he's huge, like massive, tall guy, big guy, imposing. But then as they posed, Ed got better and Nick got worse. And as they
Mm,
went through the poses, Ed lost a few of them, yeah, but he won quite a lot of them. And we spoke to the judges after, and they said like when he came out, we all were like, oh,
yeah.
kind of had almost made our mind up. They hadn't written it down and said, yeah, he's already won, but they kind of made their mind up. And then they're looking at him as the winner. You know,
Yeah.
then it's like you got to knock him off it already just from one pose and from walking out and being huge. Like,
Yeah.
but I actually had Ed winning that, and I think a couple of the judges did at the end, but they didn't change their mind.
Yeah. No, it's one of those you got to remember, like they're not paid enough, and also as well, judging shouldn't be that much. Like you can look at somebody and be like, yeah, they look really good. Like I think again, when you're a coach or whatever, you're going off the hope his glutes are there, like all that sort of stuff. Like it's why I find the whole like shows are won from the back mantra, like absolute bollocks at the amateur level. Like they're not. Shows are won by condition and your first like few impressions. Like
Well,
that's literally.
I don't think that's really a thing people say anymore. You know what I mean?
I don't
Like,
know, man.
like
People it has to be.
I get
Hmm?
it. Me and Josh were saying this earlier. Like in bodybuilding, especially in natural bodybuilding, like peeled glutes are a fucking superpower. Like
Yeah,
your physique is pretty shit, but you've got peeled glutes. You will place higher than you should because your glutes are in. Like, and that realistically, that shouldn't be that important. You know what I mean? Especially because some people's body fat distribution or strengths in their physique are just they've got massive glutes, let's say, and
yeah,
their glutes come in before, let's say, their fucking quads do, which is very rare. But for some people, that might happen. Or they're just so flat and stringy because they've tried to get the glutes in
mm,
that they've lost the rest of the physique and they still end up placing or end up winning.
yeah, yeah. Like let's say for example, in a weird way, think about me, like my lower back. As much as like I was sliced last year, but like my glutes come in before my lower back.
Yeah.
If I did the first so that first FitX show, which granted I was still out of shape for, like I could have been leaner, but like I remember asking like just for feedback when I was on the stage, and I was like, "What do you reckon?" Like, I noticed you'd be like leaner, like anything else, like posing wise, and they were like, "Nah, just like be a bit sharper through the lower, and you're cool." And I was like, "Oh, didn't mention my lower back." But if I wore board shorts that day, I guarantee they would have been like, "Oh, your lower backs need to be leaner," you know. And it's like it's all relative. So it's like when my glutes were peeled, I remember still like pinching my lower back, thinking like considering like let's say like Josh Croggan today, he did like a rear whatever, like one of the he did like a rear row, and I like joked and was like, "Little back leader the mine's ever been," and like he had like Christmas tree detail, which again I had some detail there, but I didn't have it like towards like the base of my spine. I've
Yeah.
never had that.
Mate, I have that in like off season, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
my quads are never as lean as yours. Like even when I'm lean.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Like my legs are like. Oh, funnily enough, I posted a story of my hamstrings, and Sanaya's client was like, "Jesus Christ, I've never seen anything like that." And I was like, "Honestly, my hamstrings are like that most of the time. Like, they're not shredded now, but if I was no, if I was to do a hamstring curl now, I've got lines on my hamstring still. Like if I was to bend over and touch my hamstrings, I'm like, oh, I can still see full separation.
They were peeled then. Like now,
Yeah,
like got a lot
but
of you can see it.
I mean it in the way of like they were peeled, but that wasn't like, oh my god, they've just come in or that took so much effort. That was like, oh, that's not that hard. Like my hamstrings get lean easy. They don't really hold body fat there. But then like I'm the same with my glutes. Like my glutes looked awful until a few weeks out because they hadn't fully come back because they were eroded from prep. But like I was looking at my lower back being like, yep, cool, sick, still fat. But like it came in, but it was still like nowhere near where it could have been. Like relatives again, Josh had a leaner lower back today than I had on stage, which is like funny when you think about it. Because most people would look at me and be like, "You're peeled." I'm like, "Yeah, well, I am," but it's because I'm peeled through the areas that people look for: quads, glutes, and like delts, my upper body, my lats, my midsection. But
Yeah,
like, look at my lower back, you know?
the whole package. Like obviously, it's like a saying, isn't it? Like you're only as lean as your fattest body part, which is true. But I also think
But
you
a
can
big
get
body.
fixated on it. Like you
Yeah,
can be so fixated to the point where it's like you're searching for an extra one or two glute lines, and then again your physique starts to fade. Or, for example, with you, you're trying to get your lower back in, and you just lose everything else. It's like having that mindset of you're only as lean as your fattest body part. Like, yeah, I do agree with that. If like let's say
it's a big body part. It's an important body part.
really soft, but yeah, but even then, if it's like 5% off and everything else is amazing, and getting that extra 5% you lose it, it's not
Yeah.
worth it.
No, but like I said, I think it literally is like if your midsection's in from the front, your glutes are in, and your quads are in, you can kind of get away with everything else being a little bit off. Like if you were to just magically hold loads of body fat in your hammies, like dug out hammies aren't really going to win a show. but like having high quad detail, like upper quad detail, that's going to win you a show. Having stripped glutes, that's going to win you a show. Having a tighter midsection and a quarter turn, like the first thing I always look for is like if someone looks good but they do a quarter turn and they're just their midsection looks soft, you just immediately are like, cool, you could be leaner.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, like it's something I always think about. So yeah, right. I did put a question box up, mate. Let's have a look. Anything else that you wanted to cover, or was that everything?
No, go on.
Cool, sounds so. Um, Opinions on the Arnold press and behind neck presses that old heads preach in training. We're old heads now, mate. We're the youngs. We're like we should be speaking about this.
Um, what? Arnold press and behind the neck pressing.
Yeah,
Arnold press being this one, yeah.
yeah.
Uh,
Trains all three heads of the delt, bruh.
I think they're pretty stupid. I wouldn't recommend them. I think you can do other movements that are better that still train the same.
Um, did you see the interview that Arnold did about like why he did these exercises?
No.
So he said that like it came out like a few years back something that basically when they used to do the photo shoots and like I don't know Gold's Gym Venice or whatever, the photographers would be there to like take photos of all the bodybuilders that are competing. But if he was to do different exercises, they come to him because they were just something new. So he just make up exercises on the fly, and then he'd get more people taking photos of him, and then it would do better for him. So like he basically said that a lot of his exercises he kind of just made up on the fly just because they look different, and then
Oh,
as a result he gets more photos. Which is crazy to think about. So yeah, I think if I'm honest, I'm not even going to go for Arnold press or behind the neck. I think vertical pressing just does not suit many people, and I think people need to get away from this like mantra. How many times do you set somebody up and you're like medium or high incline Smith machine press, and they're like, "Hey mate, is this a shoulder press or a chest press?"
yeah. Yeah, or they're asking, or they're like, I don't have a shoulder press in there.
Yeah, and it's like, well, yeah, it doesn't really matter. Like you're just still pressing off that top line. So I just think like the more you get into training, the more you realize that anything like completely vertical, like me just doing this now, that feels horrendous. And like if it feels good for you, sound, give it a go. But I just think there's better alternatives, and there's probably far safer movements where your elbow path's going to be a bit more supported in front of you. And I think again, like we need to get away from like the exercises. Like I don't want to say it's a shit question because I'll get in trouble and there'll be a real mood out of it. But like instead of thinking about exercise, think about your movement patterns that you connect best with, and then just go from there.
It is literally about what feels good for you. Like you can tell when you're even warming up on something if it feels naff. Like,
Yeah, 100%. Three pieces of kit you'd add to TPC if you could. So let's say unlimited budget, no spatial issues, any kit. What would you have?
I've got a list
Okay,
on my notes.
okay.
Let me just get it.
Do you know what I used the other day? And it wouldn't be on the list, but it was really good. Do you know the Nautilus Nitro dip?
Yeah.
Used it with Sam and like just did the stack for like 3 sets, and it felt I was like that feels so good. It's light, but it was like it just felt really nice. Like you sit yourself forward, you get a deep stretch. Yeah, really, really good.
Right. I'm gonna have the Gym 80 Pure Craft hack that I used in Denmark.
Uh-huh.
It was incredible.
Yep.
Um,
You speak to Abby for that. You know my client, Abby.
yeah.
She's a Gym 80 like rep.
Um, Probably Strive incline press.
Yep.
And then, I mean, other than that, on here, I've got a belt squat, which isn't like a massive, like, oh, like, that's crazy.
What belt squat would you have? Because Jakob actually messaged me about a belt squat literally yesterday.
I mean, the primal one at Premier, really good.
Yeah. I said to him that. I said that to Jakob, but I said that and the Arsenal strength, they're really good. They're just massive.
The Arsenal strength one's awful.
Oh, I lied to him there. Great, you need to change it. Well,
Like,
the Arsenal strength someone at Ultraflex, isn't it?
yeah, but it's fucking awful. It's like the drop off is huge. It's really weird. Like, I don't like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I think the Gym Lecker one's decent, but sometimes the bar's a bit like gets in the way a bit. I think the Booty Builder one is the same, decent, but the bar can get in the way if you're doing like an RDL on it. The bar's there. That
Yeah.
Primal one was nice. Atlantis one sound, but will be expensive.
Yeah.
So I've got here Jim Lecco Primal Booty Builder. I've got that in brackets after belt squat.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. What,
Um,
yeah, what else would you got? One more choice. Surely you're not going to have a fucking belt squat for your third piece.
no, I'm gonna have that Pure Craft hack or the Mark One Cybex Mark One. The Cybex Mark One is more of a statement piece, but I feel like
Yeah.
for me and what I would like using more would
Isn't the Pure Craft one very similar to the Jim Leco? It looks similar to like the angle, like it, and
similar angle, but it's the one where it's just like one loading pin at the back. It's
yeah,
not.
yeah.
It
Yeah.
isn't the heaviest, to be fair.
Yeah.
Maybe a Citadel pull down. 'Cause I really like
Uh,
that.
yeah, that would I didn't even think about that. That would be nice. I think for me it would probably be it's tough in it. Like I'd say Strive Climb would definitely be on there. I think either a Strive row or like a prime row, but then I actually think like how much of a ball ache the prime row is, like the plate loaded one.
I think the prime seated row, I think it's massively overrated.
Yeah, I think it is. It's just cool because it like people put plates on and it's quite like a male primal movement pattern. Do you not think like when it comes to how it is?
I think a seated cable row feels better.
Yeah, yeah, but I think a cable row feels better. Like a cable row or cable pull down feels better than any machine.
Yeah.
You know, if you said to me like internal feel maxing, what's going to be your best back session? I'd be like, let's do the entire session on the cable.
Yeah.
Like you get a great connection. What else would there be? The Citadel pull down is a great shout. To be fair, that's a really really good shout. I'd like the Nautilus seated tricep extension. With the back like the back support. But again, like would I really use one of like
I've
on that?
I've got the old Cybex leg pressure at 45-degree.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah, I'd say that would be up there.
That's
Uh,
in my midterm. So I've got short term, midterm, and long term in my notes.
I'd have an Atlantis incline 100% with the top peg attachment, just because I think for a chest press you can't really get much better than
Okay.
that.
I've got the Atlantis, the single leg hip press.
Yes, fantastic bit of kit. So good. That's so good. That's like for that piece, there is not a single bit that's at all as good as that. Do you know what I mean? Like a single leg, or even like that hip press sort of angle. That is the best connection with your outer quads and glutes you'll ever have on a movement.
Roger's hip press would be good.
I think it's a bit overrated. I've never thought it's that good.
But very good for quads. Like it depends because there's two different variations of it. I've used a shit one and I've used a mint one.
Oh, I've only ever used it and thought to myself, like, why does everyone rave about that? Like, it's not bad. It's just not amazing.
Yeah. But
But
yeah,
yeah, what's your long term, mate? What's on the long term list? Prime or
single leg hip press.
yeah?
I've not even put prime stuff on there because I'm not a huge. I think especially plate loaded, pin loaded, yeah, sick.
Yeah,
Plate loaded, I don't think it's as good as everyone makes out.
yeah.
Cybex Mark One hack, the Gym 80 Purecraft hack, and then flex stuff. Like a flex leverage row, flex leverage
The flex leverage chest press.
flex.
Wow, I used that. Yeah, I used that when I was in Washington. So good, man. Like it's a shame because it feels like the Gym Leco just better. Like, and I was like, oh, that's a shame because like the Gym Leco feels great. It just felt like just a premium bit of kit, and I was like, oh, that is really really good.
Cool.
So yeah. All right, next one. We'll go through like a few more and then we'll wrap it up. Um, Argon lifts. Can you explain back training wrong for both upper back and lat? Still struggle to find the optimal one. Can we just give a bit of a blanket answer? Just do as much range of motion as what feels good and just keep it consistent.
Yeah, I think you can easily go, especially with lat training. I think you can go into too much range in both ends. Like if you just go into a super deep stretch on a single arm pull down, for me, I just feel it through my tricep. Or if you go and try and like come all the way down and in and you end up rotating, then other areas are going to take over. Upper back, I feel like you can get away with a bit more range. But
Yeah,
again, like literally perfect example for me, if I try and go too far, like to protract too much, especially on something like a T-bar, it doesn't feel good on this left scap that's like been a winging scap in the past.
yeah.
But yeah, like you said, just sort of work in the range that feels best for you.
He added in as well like a second point that was like a couple of years ago everyone was preaching 10 centimeter run for lats. Now it seems completely flipped, and I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's
So I've never heard like
no. It's just like obviously. Do you not remember like people would do pull downs and literally just do this like that? That was it for lats.
yeah.
I just think like for lat training simplified, like push your scapula forward and then almost think instead of pulling into you, just pull in front of you and just get a good connection with your lower lat if you're doing a pull down. On a row, instead of thinking to again pull into you, just pull along the top of your quad and keep your scapula push forward. And then for back training, like mid back training, upper back training, just do as much movement through the scapula as you possibly can.
You should do the opposite.
Yeah, do the opposite. Do as much movement through the scapula as possible and think to pull into your body. That's
Right.
it. There's no
Out and back.
yeah, like there's no like internal cue other than that. And then as I get deeper into like my session, let's say if I do 3 sets of a T-bar, the third set I'll massively protract and it'll be like hyper fixate. I'll like tense my abs and think really push my shoulder blades forward. And then again, like I worry less about the contraction point at that point because I've done 2 sets where I've contracted. Like the one thing I think about holds back so many people from training is literally their thought process. They have to fight for every inch on a contraction on a back set. And it's like you've done a set, let's say you do 10 reps. If from rep 6 they're not fully sure, that's fine. Get 4 quality partial reps where they're still going to get a good amount out of it, other than getting 7 or 8, because you have to go,
Right,
Yeah,
which
like that half inch, and then it fucks you. Just worse than ever. Right, Ryan Parker's. I'm pretty sure that's Kez's boy. The Kaizen posing coach. Can Finn actually get a good haircut? That's a bit horrible, mate. You got any replies to that, Finn?
I actually think this haircut is very good.
Mate, I'm gonna be honest, Ryan. Do you know Ryan? Do you get on with him?
Yeah, I know Ryan, he's sound.
Okay, fair enough. Because like I think that's like a bit harsh. I think your haircut's actually like very nice, Finn. So
Thanks, mate. I appreciate that.
no, genuinely, I think it's cool. It's definitely better than whatever the fuck it was in 23 and
Oh,
24. So
yeah, I know. I know. I look back and I think, fucking hell. I actually like this. I feel like this is a bit different as well. Like, I feel
yeah,
like that many people have, especially
yeah.
like bodybuilding in the bodybuilding industry, not that many people have like, I mean, is it curtains? I don't know. It's
I
just,
wouldn't say
just long
good.
hair.
It looks like curtains now, but it doesn't in person. I don't know why. I've never thought to myself, oh yeah, you've like
It's just like, it's like, on FIFA when you choosing your player's hair, I'm,
yeah.
I'm on that mid length. I'm not
Okay.
short, I'm not in the long, I'm in that mid length. And like
You're
when
like
I'd never even look on mid length. I just look in the short because like
yeah.
I'm on mid length.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. You're like Fernando Torres before he was washed when moved to Chelsea. Like came long haired, looked like blonde Liverpool, and then he started getting it shorter.
Jacked.
Yeah, I know he is. To be fair, you've got the same hair colour as Fernando Torres, I'd say. Like now, I'd say.
Spanish and just ask those friends story.
Yeah, yeah, that's what it is, man. And then as well, what's your intra-workout shake? What's your intra-workout shake, Finn?
Creatine, salt,
Yeah,
BAA, and carb powder. If
yeah,
you want to know specifics, it's pit stop flavored creatine, buried in yesterday. Fucking banging. I actually have it here as well. I have it 3 times a day.
yeah.
BAA in whatever I've got from pit stop. Salt, which is from anywhere really. I use pink salt at the minute. You can get it from anywhere, guys. And then what's the other one I didn't say? Oh, carb powder. I'm using JP Performance Fuel in. I think it's just berry.
Did you see my close friend story today?
Maybe what
I
was it?
left, I left my Conte stuff at home. So my intro was grape EAA, a Lucozade Orange Sport from the shop because there was no carb powder upstairs. And I was like, fuck, I forgot to bring my carb drive as well. So it was like the equivalent. So I did like 1.5, so like 44 carb or whatever. And then cherry hydroflow, and then like unflavored creatine and some salt, and it tasted vile. But I was like, it'll do. Like, it was like grape, orange, and cherry. I was like, this is like all I need is something pineapple, and I've like completed the concoction of every flavor you could imagine, basically.
About like like if I was to in my intro change it from like carb powder to going and having a Lucozade or like a Powerade, I'd be like, I'm gonna have an amazing session. I've got Powerade. You know what I mean? Like, this is incredible. I used to use
No,
it.
I got a really good pump. Like it was a sick pump. So I was like, crazy. So yeah.
Isotonic,
What's that?
isotonic drinks are good. Like if you were, I say that to clients, I'm like, if you don't want to buy like a carb powder, just fucking get like cheap isotonics from Aldi. They do the same thing as
And
carbs.
also, I've had it before with like some of my bigger dudes where like I'll like in a peak, like I know people are like, don't throw anything else in. No one's ever gonna have bad digestion from fucking Lucozade Sport. I'm sorry. And like instead of getting carb powder, which again I do think there's probably maybe a slightly higher risk if you're really pushing carbs. I've done it before where I'm like, yeah, just have two Lucozade Sports, have one intra, have one pre, and then have one intra basically. Like, have one on the way to the gym, have one while you train. And like they'll literally always be like, bro, I got a sick pump. And I'm like, yeah, man, sick. It's done its job. So yeah, right. Question wise, that's pretty much it. The other ones are like thoughts on 5 IUs pre-bed, just the ones who probably how to learn so much about compounds, but like, it doesn't really matter. Like they're not really relative to the once you're in your own podcast, which is for natural athletes and for me to basically feel like I'm natural.
It's basically just a natural podcast.
Yeah, I love this natural podcast. Even though I'm pretty sure this was a Reese podcast. I
Yeah.
love listening to a Reese podcast. Sometimes when I finish my day at work, I just listen to a Reese podcast. Who was that? Do you remember?
Yeah, Danny Hands.
Bless it. It looks sick now, to be fair.
Yeah.
Like done really well. So yeah. Right. Anyway, that's that, guys. Please send in suggestions for nothing other than content review. That is what we're going to be doing.
Next
10
week,
minutes.
send in your. Sorry if this is going to offend anyone. Send in your pages of people that you think we should unfollow or that you have recently unfollowed.
Every week we have to unfollow one person or at least acknowledge why you could unfollow these people. Okay?
Or
And
send us like some pieces of content for us to be like, What the fuck is this?
Yeah. Do you know what would be funny? You know, if we get guests on, but it's not to actually have us guests, it's to question
Unfollowed.
why. Like we get Slee Raw. Guys, thanks ever so much for getting us like getting me on the podcast. And we're like, just wait till we start, mate. And then we like immediately switch up. The second it starts recording, we're like, Slee, we need to go over your content. What the fuck are you doing, bro? we just like question them.
Like a
What?
live unfollowing with them present.
So how does your wife feel that you're in a spandex like thong here? What does she think? Can we get her in the room?
Married.
Can we do that? Hmm?
They're married.
I'm pretty sure.
Right, nice. Good for them.
Or we
Congrats.
should put her on. We get Mads on.
She gets slated, doesn't she?
Does she? I don't follow her actually.
Yeah, she gets slated by what's that guy's name? Ricardo.
Oh yeah, he slates everybody though, doesn't he? Yeah. He's
Right.
there.
Yeah.
Hmm?
He'll be on there soon. He'll be on it soon.
Ah, me and him are best mates. He got me my fucking 250 quid from that Matthew twat.
Really? Was it him?
Yeah, he did the same thing to him. He literally a week before, not even a week, 2-3 days before applied with me, applied with him, paid him, cancelled or signed up for payment, cancelled the payment, and then said he's doing it on his own while also being coached by another coach. But it's saying he's going on his own, even though he had a coach. And he did it to me, and I was just the only person who set him up the day before his payment came out. And then that's why he
Did that Ricardo guy post about it?
he messaged him and he was like, "What the fuck, bro? Like, this is fucked up. You need to pay him." He was like, "I'm gonna do a video on you because you've done it to me, you've done it to Reese. You're gonna do it to other people. Like, I'll call you out." And then he was like, I'll pay him," and stuff. So- and I just messaged him like, "Cheers, bro. Thanks." I was like, I wasn't really that arsed, but I'm also not going to chase someone up for money. Like, I'm just like, if you pay me, I send him a message like, if you pay me, it's cool. But if you don't, then Sam, fuck off. You know, I'm not going to like turn up at your house and be like, "You need to pay me money." It's just like, you live and learn. Like, you're a twat. You'll get fucking karma back in ways that probably are going to be way worse than you sending me 250 quid or not. You know, in my opinion, you act like that, you probably will have shit things happen to you. In my opinion, not saying I'm wishing shit things happen. Actually, to be fair, he's a prick. Maybe I do. Fuck him. Content Matthew Cheney. Fuck you, bro. To be fair, no, I'll take that back. That's horrible. He sent me the money. He apologized.
I feel really bad.
No, because I think again, I don't think like, at the time mentally he's all spot on. He had a few things going on, and he also like he did message me being like, "I should have handled it better. I should have sent you the money. Sorry about how things have gone." And I was like, "That's cool, but you need to learn from it. Like, this is not a way to conduct yourself." And that was it. So yeah, and also as well, I think in essence, if you do act like a twat, regardless of squashing it or not, you should be able to be called out on your actions because realistically, you still acted like a prick. So it's like my thoughts are still there. Like I'm not going to be like, "Thanks for paying me, bro. We're cool." It's like we're cool relative to beef, but like at the same time, you're a bit of a wanker, mate.
You done?
Done, mate. You got any input? Yeah,
I'm sound. I'm all good.
sick. Cool. Right. Has anyone actually done that to you? Question. Like, has anyone ever cancelled before money came out?
I don't think so.
Yeah. It's happened to me like genuinely like 2-3 times. But the other 2 times, they were like kids who were like junior bodybuilders or like 18, 19.
I use Stripe now for like pretty much everyone anyway, so it comes out straight away.
Yeah. No, it's easier than go cardless. Because like the one times it happened before, like I sent them voice notes that were a bit maybe not in the nicest kind, not like anything cool, just like this is not a way to conduct yourself. Like coming from someone who's older, like don't do this. Like luckily I'm sound, I'm not gonna fucking hold vendettas, but like we bump into each other at a show, like some people could be like, "What the fuck, you owe me money." So yeah. But anyway, we'll leave it there. Right, cool. Hope everyone's enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace. Sound. Bye-bye.